Hey guys, today we are talking about how to lose the baby weight. For the second time, I just lost all my baby weight, again, right at 9 months. I am a firm believer. It takes 9 months to cook the baby, and it takes 9 months to take the weight off. So here is how I did it and what I recommend for all of you. First things first, you're gonna need to rest and recover. Doctors recommend you wait 6 to 8 weeks after the baby is born before you jump back into any exercise routine. I recommend listening to your body. Even after you've been cleared by your doctors to get back into an exercise routine, you're not going to dive in head first. You are going to need to take modifications, take things slow. 9 months postpartum, I am still doing ab modifications in my favorite classes. You might not ever be able to do some of those moves again. Your body changes after you give birth, okay? Remember that. So do not compare yourself to other people you see on Instagram. Listen to your body. As I said earlier, it takes me 9 months to lose the baby weight, and each time I have, it's taken me about 4 months to actually really want to be motivated to lose the weight. So my first tip is to really make sure that you are resting and you're giving your body time to heal. If you jump back in too hard, too soon, you are going to do more, it's gonna be worse for your body than good. Got it? Okay, now let's move on. So you just had the baby, you're like, well, what can I do to get started? First of all, if you're gonna nurse, you're not gonna wanna diet at all because that is going to reduce your milk supply. You wanna really make sure that you have an established breast milk supply if you're breastfeeding before you do any calorie cutting. I do not diet until about 6 months, and even then I'm still consuming about 1900 calories. So number two, don't diet. That might sound counterintuitive. What I want you to do is focus on whole food nutrition, okay? So that means we are eating foods that come from the ground or have a mother. I know, I hate that saying too, especially if you're a vegan and you're watching, but this is for everybody, not just a vegan or vegetarian audience. This is for everybody. So focus on eating foods that come from the ground. So what are those? Those are your vegetables, those are your legumes, those are your things like quinoa, your whole grains. You're also gonna be eating maybe some lean protein, some fish, some chicken. I do not eat dairy when I want to be my leanest. Some of you guys might not have a dairy sensitivity. Dairy causes me to bloat. Gluten, I give or take. I love eating whole wheat sourdough bread. And of course, if I'm going to a birthday party, I'm going to have a slice of cake. But for the most part, I do eat a gluten-free diet with the exception of some whole grain breads. But we are mainly going to be focusing on whole food nutrition. This is going to make a huge difference in how you feel. You're going to have more energy just by eating foods that are good for you and that are clean, because we know you're going to be losing some sleep, right? So that brings me to my next tip. This one's going to sound counterintuitive, but you're going to want to rest and sleep as much as you can. I know you've got a newborn who's waking up every 2-3 hours. I have a 9-month-old that wakes up every 5 hours still. It is hard, but do your best to get as much sleep and as much rest as you can. If you are going back to work, that might mean choosing between a 5 a.m. workout or sleeping an extra hour and a half. I'm going to recommend sleeping, because if you are not sleeping, if you are not rested, you're not going to be able to lose the weight. You might end up experiencing adrenal fatigue or an underactive thyroid. So I really want you to try to get as much rest and as much sleep as you can. If you're able to fit in those workouts, that's going to bring me to my next point. All right, so when it comes to losing weight after the baby, what workouts should you be doing? Your first priority should be strength training. I don't care what kind of strength training that is. Find something that you love. Here in Boston, we have bar classes that have babysitting. We also have strength training classes that have babysitting, or rather, I like to just go to the gym. I'll throw Connor into the babysitting and I'll go up and I'll lift weights. Your first priority should be strength training. I'm gonna say it again. Your first priority should be strength training. Then we will focus on high intensity interval training. That's going to be your intervals, your sprinting. You could also achieve this by doing something like a spin class. I love the Peloton. Peloton classes are certainly this style of exercise. This is going to be your cardio where your heart rate goes up and then your heart rate goes down and then your heart rate goes up and then it goes down. The last priority you should have should be like a steady state jog, okay? That should be the lowest on your list of priorities when it comes to losing the baby weight. So number one, strength training. We're building lean muscle mass. It's going to elevate your metabolism. You're going to burn more calories at rest. Number two, you're doing HIIT. You're doing intervals, classes like spin classes, the Peloton, or even just sprinting outside. And then the third is going to be that steady state cardio. That is your lowest priority, okay? That's how I have been doing it both times. I pretty much don't run anymore, but I do spin classes and I do sprint workouts on the treadmill. But most importantly, I do a lot of strength training. So this next tip I did not utilize after Tommy, but I needed after Connor. Even though I had pretty much hit my pre-pregnancy weight, I still felt like I looked pregnant. That was because I had a diastasis recti. I do a ton of videos about this. However, it really didn't go away until I saw a pelvic floor specialist, a physical therapist, someone to help me gain that strength back in my core and help bring my abs together. So this video is about getting back your body, losing the baby weight. Well, this really helped me achieve a body that more closely resembled what I looked like before I gave birth to Connor. I'm not gonna have the body ever that I had before kids. I've got some extra skin, let's be honest. I'm probably always gonna have a little bit of like even a finger width separation. But going to a physical therapist, it definitely was really helpful in getting my body back to what it was or close enough. Next tip is quick and easy. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water, especially if you are nursing. You need to stay hydrated. It's gonna help you feel more energized and it's going to make it easier for you to know when you're full or hungry. Start counting your macros, okay? You don't necessarily have to aim to hit any, but just start taking inventory of what you're putting into your body. Are you eating a really high protein diet? Because honestly, that's really hard for your body to digest. Are you eating a really high fat diet, but you're not quite doing keto? This might be causing an imbalance and it might make it hard for you to lose weight as well. This also will let you know how many calories you're consuming. Maybe you think you're eating less, but you're eating a lot more. Or maybe you're just eating spoonfuls out of the peanut butter jar and you really have no idea what you're eating. So here's an idea. Just start tracking your macros. You can download MyFitnessPal, it's for free. And just start tracking what you're eating and seeing what you hit when it comes to those macros and nutrients. If you want more help with this, you can check out my, my coaching program, Faster Way to Fat Loss. Link is down below. But I want you to just start taking an inventory of what you're eating. This, I guarantee, is going to show a difference in a week. And lastly, every little bit helps. I know I mentioned sleeping instead of exercising, but you actually don't even need 90 minutes to fit in a workout. Every little bit helps. I have a bunch of 10, 15, 20-minute nap time workouts that you can do at home when the baby is sleeping or even with the baby when they're active. They love some of these moves, especially the squats. They make it harder, and especially doing push-ups over them, giving them little kisses. They love that. Every little bit helps. You need to get rid of the mindset that you need to be in the gym for 45 minutes to an hour to see results, because you don't. So here are the last tips. Number one, focus on nutrition. Focus on what you're eating. We're focusing on whole foods. Number two, make sure that you are resting. Make sure that you are getting some sleep. I don't see the point in waking up at 5 a.m. to squeeze in an hour-long workout if you're going to be exhausted the rest of the day and make poor food decisions. If you can wake up at 5 a.m., get in that workout and still make good decisions later in the day, then okay if you're not exhausted. But if you're just overly tired, do the sleep. Third, we're focusing on strength training. And then lastly, maybe we're starting to incorporate a little bit of the tracking of the macros. And maybe when you're even further along postpartum, you can play with intermittent fasting, which is something that I've recently become a huge fan of. If you guys have any other questions though, I want to know down below how I can help you achieve your post-baby body goals. There's no point in trying to get back to the body that you were before you had kids. You want to now focus on feeling confident and comfortable in your own skin. Try not to step on the scale. Try to use your clothes as a measure of your progress and success. But then, when all else fails, if you feel good about how you look, go out and buy a new wardrobe. Check out my Instagram for more postpartum tips at SarahFit, and I'll see you guys soon.